Hello and welcome everyone to today's cloud coaching session on fully integrated real-time data pipeline with Kafka Connect and Oracle Streaming. My name is Tara Van Cleve and I'm a marketing event manager for the developer initiative here at Oracle. We're excited to show you how to use Kafka Connect to ingest Json data from RabbitMq into Oracle Streaming and call Oracle functions to read and manipulate data from streaming using Service Connector Hub. If you do not currently have an Oracle Cloud account, we've got a special promotion that I'll be placing in the chat so you can try out OCI services yourself. If you have any questions during the webcast, please ask them in the Slack channel and we'll answer them throughout the session. The link to join is bit.ly/devrel-on-slack. Once you're in, you'll land in the general channel. And from there, you can search for hashtag North America Cloud Coaching to reach our dedicated space for Q&A today. Today's webcast will be presented by Senior Cloud Engineer Chinmay Thakar, Senior Cloud Engineer Sasanka Abesing, and Staff Cloud Engineer Christian Miradondo. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Chinmay.
Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to go through a cloud coaching session on a fully integrated real-time data pipeline ingestion from RabbitMq using Kafka Connect into Oracle Streams. We are also going to go ahead and use our Service Connector Hub within Oracle to go ahead and send data from Oracle Streaming Service over to functions, which will go ahead and be invoked automatically. With me, I have Sasanka and Christian, my teammates. Then let's go ahead and get started. So the agenda for today looks something like this. We will give a quick overview of the Oracle Streaming Service, the Service Connector Hub, as well as Oracle functions. These are some things that are going to be part of the demo, and just wanted to give you a quick overview of these services within Oracle or OCI. Then we will quickly look at the use case architecture. Once we go through the architecture, we'll dive directly into the demo piece. Once we are done with the demo, we'll go through a quick overview of our Code Innovate program. And at the end, we'll take some Q&As. So give you a quick overview of what Oracle Streaming Service is. The Oracle OCI Streaming Service is a serverless Kafka-compatible streaming platform. A quick overview is that it is cloud native all the way. So you can see that it is infinitely scalable. It's fully elastic and is completely serverless. So as and when your workload increases, it will scale up and scale down based on the amount of workload. It is open source and is cloud neutral. So as it is compatible with Apache Kafka, which is the industry leading practice right now in streaming, we are compatible with Apache Kafka. So you can go ahead and connect to your existing Apache Kafka applications. It is also deeply integrated with first and third party products. So you can go ahead and use Oracle Streaming with third party products using Apache Kafka or Kafka Connect, as well as with other services within Oracle Cloud that we are going to go ahead and showcase in today's demo. Also, Apache Kafka is deployed on the OCI platform, which has enterprise-grade security, performance, as well as fault tolerance. To quickly also give you an overview of the service that we are going to go ahead and use with Oracle Streaming is Apache Kafka Connect. And Kafka Connect has millions of source and sink connectors. It's a simple configuration file that you can go ahead and set up to ingest data from different variety of sources and also dump that data into a variety of sinks. And that's the terminology that is commonly used in the Kafka nomenclature. So we have sources and sinks of Kafka Connect, and streaming is something that comes and sits in the middle and provides you that cloud native piece of architecture to bind that sources as well as those sinks. So it's very easy to move data in and out of different sources to different exit points. Also going through the Service Connector Hub. The Service Connector Hub is another service provided within OCI, which gives you a single pane of glass to manage and monitor all the data movements that are happening within OCI. The quick overview of what you can do with Service Connector Hub is to manage your data. You can go ahead and move log data over from our logging service to multiple different services like object storage, to streaming services, to logging analytics and monitoring to go ahead and monitor the data or create dashboards. Or you can also use something to trigger functions and notifications. We are going to go ahead and trigger a function today using the Service Connector Hub. You can also go ahead and send some notifications. So if you want to go ahead and send an email for a specific log or data point which has been flagged for your end, you can go ahead and send notifications as well. It's also used to move streaming data. So like I said, we can use the Service Connector Hub to move data from streaming service to different OCI services and also trigger functions and notifications. It has seamless integration to third-party services as well. So you can go ahead and use Oracle's Kafka compatible streaming service to go ahead and connect to all these different third-party services. Today, we are going to go ahead and connect to RabbitMq, which is again a third-party service, and also provides you filters for moving the data. So if you want to go ahead and not move all the data over, you can go ahead and set some filters within the Service Connector Hub so that only the data that you are interested in gets moved between the source and the destination services. Moving on to Oracle Functions. Oracle Functions are our serverless platform. So this is something where you do not need to have a physical server to go ahead and run the logic or your code that requires to do some form of computation for you. It automatically spins up the right amount of infrastructure required and runs the code on that. And that's what a serverless platform is. So Oracle does provide functions as a service. The functions as a service is a completely cloud integrated platform. It is container native. So whatever code that you write is going to be packaged into a container. You can go ahead and use Docker, store our containers, let's say within Docker Hub or our Oracle Container Registry. And what functions does is whenever you go ahead and invoke a function, it goes ahead and pulls in that specific container and runs the code for you. It is open source. We are compatible with the FN community. So everything that Oracle Functions does is contributing to the FN community as well. And definitely it is secure because it does come with the Oracle infrastructure that is being used underneath, which is completely secure. Also, it is a pay-per-use service, so you just use for the amount of time that the function is executing and not for any ideal time. It is autonomous, so it auto-scales. You do not have to go ahead and manage your servers or provision any VMs to run your code. It will automatically scale based on the computation that is required by the piece of code or by the piece of function that is being executed. Also, it is event-driven, so you can go ahead and use your functions to run your code. You can expose your functions using API gateways, which gives you a URL that you can directly hit, or use API calls to call this function to trigger it and do the computation. So going on, we'll go ahead and look at the simple use case architecture that we will go ahead and demo after this. So the use case architecture looks something like this. Everything is currently built within an OCI region. It goes from left to right. So let me go ahead and start from the RabbitMq server. The RabbitMq server is actually positioned right now in a public subnet within one of our availability domains within a virtual cloud network on OCI. We wanted to emulate the RabbitMq server as an on-premises server, so we just created another subnet and put that RabbitMq server up and running over there. We also now have a private subnet wherein we host our Kafka Connect VM. So this is the Kafka Connect worker node, which has the configuration files as well as the other details to connect to the source RabbitMq server. And also we have configurations done on that Kafka Connect VM machine to go ahead and dump the data that comes in from the RabbitMq server into Oracle Streaming service. So on the left, you can see we have our managed services that we spoke about. We have the Oracle Streaming service as the managed service, as well as our Service Connector Hub. Both of them are live within OCI's managed services subnet. You can go ahead and directly use those services. And also, if you want to go ahead and interface these services with different external services, we can go ahead and use the service gateway, like you see over there, to invoke a specific function, which again lies in a different subnet within our availability domain. We've also used the different IAM services. IAM is nothing but giving access to different people, manage authentication as to who can access what within Oracle Cloud. And we've also used logging. So logging is something that is also provided within OCI. And we'll use your logging in this demo to see how function logs can directly come up on your OCI console and see what the output is. And if you want to go ahead and debug something that the function doesn't work, you can definitely use logging for that. To just go through the flow of how data is being transferred over this architecture over here, what we go ahead and do is we go ahead and send some data onto the RabbitMq server. It's just going to be a simple one-liner JSON data that we go ahead and send. We wanted to keep this session quite simple for everyone to understand. So we'll go ahead and put one data entry into the RabbitMq server. Once we have the Kafka connection already done with the Oracle Streaming service, as well as with our source connector, which is RabbitMq, the Kafka Connect will go ahead and take that data and dump that into Oracle Streaming service. So once it is into Oracle Streaming service, we will go ahead and show you how that data pops up on the Oracle dashboard as well in the streaming service section. Once the data is in Oracle Streaming, we have already also configured our Service Connector Hub. The Service Connector Hub has something similar to a source and a destination. The source for our Service Connector Hub over here is our streaming service. So as it continues to listen on to a specific stream, and as and when data gets inputted into the stream, it will go ahead and pick up that data and directly move that data and trigger a function in this case. So we will now directly jump into our demo. Let me go ahead and move over to our demo screens. All right. So as you can see, we have our dashboard open. This is the OCI dashboard. I have a few tabs open over here as well. So this is our OCI function service. Over here, as you can see, I have gone ahead and deployed a function. This function is a very simple function which simply takes in the data and just logs that data. We'll show you the logs in our logging service as well. For specific functions, we also have the log screen open. As and when the function is triggered or called and you have logging configured within your function that you've written, they will go ahead and pop up over here. We've also configured a stream, which currently is a simple stream, which only has one partition. As and when data comes into the stream, we can go ahead and load messages over here to just see what kind of messages are getting into Oracle Streaming Service. And at the end, we have also configured our Service Connector Hub. The configuration is quite simple. What the Service Connector Hub does is it has a source and a target. We have configured our source to be our Kafka stream right here. It will continuously monitor data coming into the Kafka stream and move that data over to the target, which is invoking the function, which I showed you previously. All right, so getting into the demo itself, I just want to quickly show you a few things as to how you can go ahead and configure the Kafka Connect on OCI. So I do have a simple Docker file, which I'm currently using. I'm using the base image of Debezium. Debezium normally has Kafka Connect configurations inbuilt. I've built my container on top of Debezium. I go ahead and use the MQTT. You're going to go ahead and use MQTT protocol for this to go ahead and use the connect to RabbitMq, I would say. So we took all the jars from that and put it into our base image. So simple Docker file over here. I also have a different Docker shell script, which normally has all the configurations required to go ahead and set up the Kafka Connect worker node. I've given the right OCIDs for the storage, for the topic, as well as the different password and connections. I simply go ahead and run this docker.sh file to go ahead and build the Docker image as well as run the Docker image. So all this is currently being done on an OCI VM. I also quickly wanted to go through the simple function that I've written. The function is written in Python. It simply just takes data in from the stream. It just logs a couple of entries over here. We will go ahead and put in some data into RabbitMq, and that RabbitMq data has some key and value, which will be ported in the Oracle logging. We also have a source connections file over here. So as you can see, Kafka Connect normally just uses simple configuration files to connect to Oracle Streaming, as well as to the different source and sync connectors. In this case, we are going to use RabbitMq as our source connector. It's going to go ahead and have a simple IoT topic. And as you can see, there's a simple case equal statement over here, which says it inserts anything that is read from the specific topic on RabbitMq and puts it into our Kafka stream. We've also gone ahead and configured our hosts over here. So our RabbitMq is currently running on this specific server, and we give the username and passwords over here as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get our hands dirty and see how things work out directly. So I have a few terminal windows open over here. The first terminal window at the top left actually shows you how exactly the Kafka Connect worker node is being assembled. I've already configured it for you, and it's currently listening for messages that are being pumped into RabbitMq. The RabbitMq, it's currently resting on a specific topic within RabbitMq. We are going to go ahead and use the Mosquito plugin to go ahead and publish some messages over to the RabbitMq server, and also see whether those messages are being translated over to our streaming service going forward to invoke a function. So once the Kafka Connect worker node has been configured, we can go ahead and simply do a curl command to see what kind of connectors are currently being active within that. So as you can see, there is just a single connector called the MQTT source, which is the actual file that I actually showed you previously as well. And this revalidates that our source has been successfully set. We've also gone ahead and done the configurations over to Oracle Streaming. So as and when messages are being pumped into RabbitMq, the Kafka Connect worker node will go ahead and pick up those messages from the specific topic on RabbitMq and move them over to streams. So let's see that happening right now. So over here in this window, I have a simple publish command, which publishes some messages. And this is going to be a simple message over here. It's just going to be a key with value 20, and the value is going to be just my name. And I'm going to go ahead and publish that message over to the RabbitMq server over here. So let's go ahead and do that. And as you can see, once I do that, I also have a subscriber model within the RabbitMq. And as you can see, that message has successfully been translated over to RabbitMq, and I can see that over here at the top right window. So now, once that is done, you'll be able to see there are a few things that happened over here as well. So it gone ahead and so the Kafka Connect worker node now sees that there are some messages that have been put into RabbitMq in the specific configuration that we had, and it goes ahead and transfers those messages over to Oracle Streaming. And let's see that happening as well. So if I go to Oracle Streaming now and click on load messages, as you can see, there is a message that has definitely been loaded into Oracle Streaming. So we can successfully confirm that our Kafka Connect configuration has been correctly configured, and the message has been translated over to Oracle Streaming service. And as you can see, the message over here is actually base64 encoded. So if you want to go ahead and actually access that message, you'll have to go ahead and decode that message over here. So now let's go ahead and see whether our function has been invoked. So what happens is, because we already had the service connector hub configured, what it'll do is once messages come into the streaming service, it sends the message over to the functions and tries to invoke that function. So I have the logs currently open for that function over here. And let's go ahead and refresh this real quick and see if we were able to invoke that function. And as you can see, there is some function invocation over here. So the service connector hub has done its job. It has transferred the data over to our functions, and it's going to go ahead and invoke that function. So it might take a couple of minutes for the logs to pop up on the screen. So let me go ahead and quickly try to refresh and see if new logs have been popped up. All right, so there are new logs coming in. Let's give it a couple of more minutes. All right, as you can see now over here that the function has been successfully invoked. I did have a few logs written within our Python function. So as you can see over here, the function has been successfully invoked. It received one entry. And this was the entire message, as you can see in the pop-up window right there, as to what message was transferred over to the function. In the function itself, I've gone ahead and traversed through and tried to get the key and the value. So in the streaming service, as you can see, the key over here was demo topic and the ID was 0, as well as the value is what we sent over from RabbitMq. So in the logs, I've gone ahead and printed those out as well. So as you can see, the key over here is topic demo ID 0, and the value that we sent over from RabbitMq is 20 and my name. So as you can see, this is the overall data flow of how a specific data that you put into a RabbitMq topic has successfully been translated over using Kafka Connect configurations to Oracle Streaming. And from Oracle Streaming, we have gone ahead and used our service connector hub to invoke a specific function. In this demo, I wanted to keep things very simple for everyone to understand. But in the function itself, you can have more computation and more logic embedded into it. So if you want to go ahead and translate all the information that has been coming in from the streaming service, and then let's say put it into an Oracle database, for example, or into the autonomous database, there are multiple ways you can go ahead and write those functions. We also have a code repository for sample functions on GitHub, where you can go ahead and check out how different functionalities can be implemented within Oracle functions. So this kind of goes through an overview of the demo itself. And let me quickly go back to our PowerPoint, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Christian to talk about the Code Innovate program.
Thank you, Chinmay. Hi, everybody. My name is Christian Arredondo. I'm a program manager and cloud engineer with the Code Innovate program, along with Sasanka and Chinmay. Chinmay, if you want to move forward. So we're going to start off with a little example here. So every year, our manager takes his family to Legoland, and one of his children's favorite activities at Legoland is this Master Builder class. So what's done in this Master Builder class is they're teaching a certain skill every day. And in this skill, they're learning interlocking. So with this, they are learning to take what is given by this man in the upper right corner, who is the Master Builder, and are taught a certain skill for the day. So they're given all the pieces, they're given all the best practices, and at the end they have an end result. So if you can move forward, Chinmay.
I guess Christian is having some issues. I can actually go through these slides myself. So just want to give you a quick overview of what the Virtual Code Innovate program is. It's a 5 half-day online event to jumpstart your cloud development. What we do in this Virtual Code Innovate program is we give you hands-on introduction to the Oracle Cloud Services. What we normally do is we want to go ahead and facilitate some rapid knowledge sharing between the cloud users from your team, as well as align you with the right engineers from our team. So what happens in this Code Innovate event is you bring us your use cases that you want to go ahead and implement on OCI. We align the right engineers from our side to work with you to create a simple first pass prototype of that specific use case. This is also at no cost if you meet all the simple minimum requirements, which is nothing but we wanted some leverage time to go ahead and set everything up, validate the use case for the 5 half days, as well as a minimum number of requirements, participation from your end as well. So the Code Innovate experience goes like this. We highly encourage our customers to bring their use cases to us. So rather than going ahead and showing you a canned demo or for offerings or a simple walkthrough of Oracle services, we would rather be more invested in learning about what you would like to do on OCI. If you all have a specific use case in mind and the kind of services that you would like to implement or use to implement that specific use case, that's where we go ahead and have the code Innovate. This definitely facilitates some rapid knowledge sharing because 4 or more participants from your team will be paired up with one Oracle expert in that specific technology. And throughout the event, the cloud engineer will be able to provide you the best practices as well as guide you through how you can go ahead and get that use case accomplished. So what we normally do is we meet every day in a week, 5 days a week for 4 hours in that week. Majority of the time for that week is dedicated for code development. So we want to go ahead and get our hands dirty, get your hands dirty as well, and try to go ahead and develop something meaningful for you all. If the code innovates something that you might be interested in, if you have a specific use case in mind that you would like to implement on OCI, you all can go ahead and contact us. These are our email addresses. Please send us an email if you're interested, and we will definitely go ahead and contact you and move forward with our discussions about the use case as well as scheduling the event with you. If you're interested otherwise, you can also drop in your emails in the Zoom chat. We'll go ahead and reach out to you all directly to go ahead and further the discussion about Code Innovate. So that kind of concludes what we wanted to go ahead and show you for today. We wanted to go ahead and keep it open for some Q&As if you all have any.
All right. If we have no more questions, just a reminder again that this recording will be sent to you at the same email that you registered with in the next couple of days and posted in the Slack channel. And a quick survey is going to pop up when you exit the Zoom. So please let us know any feedback that you have for us. And thanks again so much for joining us. We hope to see you all again next time.